teams had won 767 consecutive games when in that position before last night. So one immediately asks the question, we got a Dolphins team that was trending towards being the 1 seed, and they're playing at home where they're practically unbeatable, and they got a 14-point lead, which is practically unblowable. Yeah. How the actual heck did that happen?
That was Ravens-esque in the way that they found a way to lose the game that they had completely under control. Mike Vrabel does that to a team every year. It feels like knocks off a highly ranked team when they shouldn't. So I'm not all the way out on the Dolphins just yet, but the Tyreek Hill hobbling around is scary.
Well, let's get to that.
Right? Like, he goes out early with an ankle injury. He comes back in, but he's clearly not himself. Are they using him as a decoy? He caught a couple balls. He's an absolute miracle. But the fact is their offense is not remotely the same without him. You know, for the last couple of weeks, I've been thinking no wide receivers ever won MVP. Is it ridiculous to think about this guy as MVP if he breaks the single season receiving record? After last night, I don't think it is. I think last night served as proof of how valuable Tyreek Hill is. And in a year, if no quarterback's going to separate himself, if he does get healthy and break that record, I think he's got a good chance.
Yeah, Graz, there's very few receivers that you can pluck off a team and see how much it can impact a team as Tyreek did last night. He came back into that game and made a couple catches, and I'm like, holy cow.
Yeah.
Everyone's telling me that he can't win the MVP, but he showed you just how valuable he is to that team. And honestly, for me, it was just a sack there at the end by Tua. In the big-time games, when they need him to create, that is where he tends to struggle just a little bit. I saw him throughout this game try to scramble, do a couple things with his feet, but right there, it did look like he had 2 left feet.
Fox was making the point about Vrabel and having these type of games. Here's the deal. Armstead, their left tackle, Hunt was out of the game. They had 18 pressures on Tua and 5 sacks. They had 11 for the most of the season. They made Tua throw outside the numbers. Like, the game plan that the Titans implemented was very effective, especially once Hill was taken out of the game, because that explosive nature that he brings to that offense, it made Tua look very average last night. He looked like he wasn't on time. The rhythm of this offense matters. Like the Dolphins, it's always in time. When Tua's foot hits the ground, the ball's coming out. Last night, that did not happen, and you saw the vulnerability of the Dolphins.
And on the other side, the Dolphins defense couldn't get pressure in big moments. If you look back at those replays, those big plays that Will Levis was making, he was chilling in the pocket. He was finding more time, creating time, and it goes back to that Phillips injury, and they're not a blitz-heavy team, but they got to find a way to get pressure on quarterbacks.
Dolphins still get the 1 seed if they win out, because they're going to play Baltimore. But their schedule is rough. And I wonder, this is a game where they made a lot of mistakes, right? I go back to even the first half, Bradley Chubb throwing his helmet and giving him a first down that leads to a touchdown. They could either galvanize themselves and learn from this bad game they had and run through the rest of their schedule and get that 1 seed, or it could be a bad sign of things to come.
Yeah, Jeff, you know this as an offensive lineman. The health of that offensive line is the key priority for the Miami Dolphins, along with Tyreek Hill. They had no sacks last week. They score 45 points. They give up 5 this week. You see what happens. But we got to show some love to Will Levis as well. I mean, down 14. This man threw a thick pick 6. Right? You think it's over. No, he comes back. They're down 14. And you know how many quarterbacks have more explosive plays than Will Levis since he became the starter?
Tell me.
3. Talking about Brock Purdy, C.J. Stroud, and Dak Prescott. So in those big moments, he had ice in his veins. He was ready for it. And you saw that reaction. I mean, my man, you can put all the mayo in your coffee you want, but keep doing it.
You got ice in the veins. There's fire in there, too.
One more thing I want to bring up to my man Domonique, who is my analytics maven. People always, you said it on the call this morning, the old heads always question going for the 2 when you're down 14. Last night, Mike Vrabel showed you why it's the right thing to do.
That linebacker has a calculator, and I love it. I mean, you want to give your team the best chance to win, and that is an aggressive move to make. We've gotten to a position where I think a lot of us accept that that's the smart move, and it's not the risky move anymore. There was a time when we were judging, but if they lose in that situation, I wonder how we react this morning.
Playing to win, you are not playing to tie. Tie the game, you could lose on a coin flip, and nobody wants that. It's absolutely the right move. I'm glad it worked, because now there's something to point to when people go, why did he do that? That's why.
That's exactly why. So the Dolphins stunned DeVito. Look at him extending the play.
Oh, yeah, getting a little freaky with it out there outside the pocket. Finding Isaiah Hodgins in the back of the end zone. Ooh-wee.
It's a genuinely outstanding play. Giants up 21-13. Now it's 21-16. Giants looking to run out the clock. Jeff, Saquon Barkley, he's been so good. He's been such a good team guy. But this is the moment you can't have.
Oh, this is brutal. Listen, getting all the way down, and the ground caused the fumble. Guess what? No one touches you. Ball is live. That is a devastating fumble at that moment again. You felt it for him.
Yeah, and Tommy DeVito went over to him on the sideline, said, "Flush it. Don't worry. We're still going to win the game."
Flush it. I got that.
He said it. I read the quotes. That's Jordan Love. Watch Malik Heath take out the ref. What? Ref? What do we think? Did he get in? Is it a touchdown? But is it ever got
Touchdown.
He had no idea.
Packers go for the two. They don't get it. That's critical because with 49 seconds left, the Giants have a chance. Wandale Robinson.
Oh, my gosh. What a route. What a throw. Big-time drive there by Tommy.
Watch Mr. DeVito. Relax, everybody. Relax. Relax. 2 seconds left. Randy Bullock. Oh, my God, the Giants won. The Giants win their third straight game behind Tommy DeVito. All you need is love? I don't think so. 24-22. The Giants with another win. And so we take a look. The Packers with a great chance to put distance between themselves and the other teams in the hunt for the wild card. Technically, Green Bay still holds that 7th seed, but there are 7 different teams, including the Giants, who are one win out of that spot. Dan Graziano, I think no one better than you to sum up the storyline.
It's a great day to be an Italian kid from New Jersey. That's right. Getting it done. That was a mess, by the way, that NFC playoff picture.
Yeah.
The Giants and the Bears are in it. Like, I mean, think about that. But no, the Tommy DeVito, this is amazing what's going on. 3 straight wins. Like, this is a guy, he just beat a first-round pick and a red-hot team in the Green Bay Packers. You know, you've got Saquon Barkley fumbling the game away, and the guy nobody ever heard of 3 months ago saying, "I got this," and marching him down the field and winning the game. The agent is dressed like he came out of Johnny Dangerously. I mean, it is absolutely unbelievable. We were saying today, it's like a local story. It's like the most local story ever, right?
Yeah.
Like, you know, a hometown kid makes good.
It looks so ridiculous. The agent just look like, is that a costume? Is that how he actually dressed? I was telling Jeff this morning that the agent looked like if I asked one of Jeff's friends from Georgia, could you draw a picture of an Italian guy from New Jersey? They would come up with that guy. It is exactly what you expect. It's a little scary, but they're winning right now, so it works out.
And actually, I want to get this to Green Bay here, but quickly, RG3, you made an interesting point on who might ultimately be the beneficiary of the Tommy DeVito story.
Oh, yeah. Tommy DeVito's the best thing that ever happened to Daniel Jones. Listen.
Daniel Jones.
Daniel Jones is benefiting from this. The Giants are no longer in position to get a high pick in the draft, you know, get like a Caleb Williams or whatever it may be. And Danny DeVito. Oh, Danny DeVito.
Tommy.
Tommy DeVito. Just talking about like the poise he showed on that last drive. You guys know this. When you have a 2-minute drive, the thing they always tell the quarterback is don't be afraid to take the check down. Yeah. He took the check down. He was 4 for 4, and when he had to make the big play big throw down the field to Wandale Robinson, he did that.
That's right.
Sacked 15 times going into this game. Didn't get sacked at all in this game. Had 2 straight games of 100-plus QB quarterback rating going into this game. Did it again. So it sounds like a great story, but he's actually playing high-level football. Only had 4 incompletions in the whole game, and has more touchdown passes in fewer games than Daniel Jones did when he was playing.
So he's been good, and they're actually in some semblance of the race. But, Jeff, after the last few weeks, a lot of people were buying stock in the Green Bay Packers. Are you selling it today?
Selling it. Yeah, listen, here's the deal. Like, even if they make it to the playoffs, this is a young team. We talked about this. It's a young team. This is what they're going to do. They're going to be hot sometimes. They're going to be awful sometimes. They had no business losing this football game, right? You're going in where you are, the position you're in, how you played, and it was a dud. Like, it was a dud of a game. Like, make no mistake, DeVito, as well as he played, you don't lose this to this quarterback, this football team at this point in the year. LaFleur was, 16-0 in December?
He was.
And this is the one you give away? Like, this, you're going to kick yourself in the butt for this.
Yeah, I wouldn't sell the stock. I think Jeff's right. They're a young team. They're going to make these mistakes. The real concerning thing is we saw Jordan Love coming along, and what made Jordan Love better was not the mental part of the game. He seemed to always have that down. His accuracy was an issue, and he had fixed that. And it popped up again last night. That's the scary part.
That's young players, right? And they are the youngest offense in the the league. Every receiver and tight end they have but one is in his first or second year. The whole group, I mean, yeah, they're going to see high highs and low lows like young players do.
Yeah, the reason I wouldn't sell on the Packers is because they had no Christian Watson. They had no Aaron Jones.
That's true.
So even though they are young on that side and they had a blip in this game, I still believe in what they can get done and make a playoff push down the stretch.
I think it depends on what we're talking about. If you can hold the stock into next year, I'd hang on to it.
That's what
because they're so young, they're going to get there. But for this season, I don't know that of all those teams down there, I don't know that they're the ones I think are going to wind up getting in. Could you imagine if the Bears or the Giants sneak into the back end of the playoffs? We'll talk about it.